What's up, internet folks? Wannabe Racer back again with another video. Today I'm going to talk about a couple of changes that I've made to my time trial bike since my last video, which was a full bike check on my Argon 18 E80. First change I made was to install a set of Osymetric Chainrings because Alex Dowsett told me to. After Alex had posted a picture from his Team Sky days where he ran the Osymetric Chainrings on his time trial bike, I asked him if he had ever considered playing with them again on his bike. His response was basically that due to sponsor commitments, he was riding Campagnolo at Movistar and sponsored by Ceramic Katusha. He wasn't able to, but now that he was back on Shimano and had the freedom at Israel Startup Nation to kind of play with what he wants, he would be interested in trying them again. And since Alex is currently my favorite professional cyclist, I of course listened to him and threw a set on. In all seriousness, I've been going back and forth on using Osymetric Chainrings for a couple of seasons now. The main argument for a non-round chainring like the Osymetric Chainrings or the rotor Q rings is the idea that they lengthen the power phase of your pedal stroke and shorten kind of that dead spot at the top and bottom. The idea being then that you can basically produce more power throughout the entirety of your pedaling circle. While science is kind of fuzzy on whether non-round chain rings work or not, anecdotally I do like the feeling of them. It does feel like you can stay on top of the gear a bit more, like you are able to push harder for more of the pedal stroke. Surprisingly, the switching back and forth between non-round and the round chain rings on my road bike hasn't felt as weird this year, which is probably the main reason why I've stuck with them. The downside of the Osymetric chain rings is they don't shift that well. They make a bunch of extra noise because in the low spot, the chain does hit the bottom of the front derailleur. So the other change I made was to switch to these Zip VUCA Alumina Evo 70 extensions. Paired those with the 50mm spacers, which actually allowed me to bring my position up a little bit while also getting rid of all that ugly excess steer I had on my bike before with the Pro extensions. I'm also currently running the 10-degree wedges underneath the armrests, which I spaced out a little wider than I had before in order to try to get my chest a bit lower. My main problem with the 45-degree ski bend extensions from Pro was I was finding it very difficult to achieve the position I wanted while fitting within the UCI rules. Since they take all their measurements to the end of the shifter, when you're using mechanical shifters, like put them in the most extreme positions. So when you're doing the 10 centimeters from the armrest to the tip of the extension, they measure to the tip of the shifter in its most upright position. So unless you're using the SRAM return to center ones, they're stuck up like this, which is a pretty useless position for holding in most cases. And then when they're measuring your distance from the bottom bracket, at either 75 centimeters or 80 centimeters, again, it's to the tip of the shifter in its most forward position, which once again is a pretty useless position to hold, which in the end meant I was starting to feel really cramped in my reach, which is why I switched to less of a drastic rise in the extension so that I could actually still have my full reach without risking going past the UCI rules. While I did give up getting my hands as high as I'd like, I still find that I'm getting them plenty high and I can tuck my head down pretty good with the Zip VUCA Alumina Evo 70 extensions. Also, it looks so much better if I have all that steerer tube. There you guys go. Little update on a couple changes that I've made to the Argon 18 time trial bike. Let me know down in the comments what you think of non-round chain rings. Have you used them before? Do you think they're all smoke and mirrors, or do you think the science is actually there to back them up? Also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up like, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Wannabe Racer YouTube channel for more videos like this one. And until the next one, I'm the Wannabe Racer. Remember to keep faking it until you make it.
Absolutely raising the roof, he rode into victory, looking surprisingly fresh as he punched the air after setting a new UCI hour record of a staggering 52.937 kilometres. He even had the energy remaining to lift his bike in the air to celebrate.